Welcome to Lovely Nail and Beauty. Please subscribe to my channel, click on the notification bell, and also click on the like button if you like the video. Thank you. Hi guys, welcome to Lovely Nail and Beauty Stitches. So today I have a new project. I'm gonna teach you how to create the cross stitch. So here I have my two pens, the red and the blue. And I have my paper over there that contains small square. So I'm gonna use those two pens for two purposes, and you're gonna see. So first of all, I'm gonna use my blue pen. I'm gonna put some dots on my paper, so those dots will represent the hole on the fabric that I'm gonna use to do my cross stitch. There we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you the fabric that I'm gonna use for that. That's the fabric, and you can see the small hole, so it represents those small dots on my paper. So first of all, when you start your cross stitch, you on the surface you're gonna have parallel oblique line, and in the back of your fabric you're gonna have some vertical parallel line. So that's the way it's gonna look. So I'm gonna use the red pen for the back and the blue for the front, and you're gonna see later how it's gonna come. So the front, you're gonna have parallel oblique line. There we go. And you just do that on one side and go back on the other way, so it's gonna cross. That's the first line. And now the back, I'm gonna use the red pen. It's gonna look vertical parallel line. That's the first way to do the stitches cross. So I'm gonna show you how to make it. I'm using that paper because it's good for debutant and for beginners, sorry, and we're gonna see. And right there I have this design that I have, and I use those paper because they are big, it's easy to see, and I'm gonna reproduce that later on. So this is the first part of my video, how to make a cross stitch. That's part one, and we're gonna do the part two. First of all, you will need to have a needle and also a thread. And at the end of my thread, you can see I have the knock over there. I will need that. Okay, so now I'm gonna use my paper. So I'm gonna pretend, and right there I have some scissors too, you will need that. So I'm gonna use my paper, and I'm gonna pretend that my paper is the fabric. So there we go. So first of all, I'm gonna put my needle, and I'm gonna choose one spot when the line cross each other. There we go. So first of all, there is two ways to do the cross stitches, and I'm gonna teach you guys. So now I'm gonna create the first line with the parallel oblique line. So you have just to play with those spots where the line cross. So when you knew that's the way you do it, you're gonna put your needle on the top and back, and come back again, turn your fabric and choose one dot where the line cross. Okay, and then come back, create the second oblique parallel line. So that's the first step, how you're gonna do your cross stitches. But there is two different way, and later on I'm gonna show you the two different way. So guys, this is a new project. I never done that before, and I hope that at the end you're gonna learn something, especially for women, because most of women are doing that. And now look at the way that I play with my needle. This is when you gain more experience doing the cross stitches. So right now I don't need to bring my back and forth. I just play with the surface, and I know already where I'm supposed to enter my needle and put it out. So this is when you gain more experience. There we go. So it's so nice to practice with the paper, because it gives you a clear idea how things is gonna be, because on the fabric it's more small, and you really need to be precise But first, when I start with the paper. So that's the first line. So now I'm gonna show you the back. You can see the parallel vertical line that I create, like I drew on the top. So it's really helpful to use the paper at first, but again on the fabric is gonna be more clear and you're gonna see. So that's my first line to doing the cross stitches. So now we're gonna do the second line of parallel oblique. So now I have to go on the opposite sense and then always put my thread above my needle. So I'm do that again. So right there I'm putting my needle, and what did I do? Make sure that the thread is above my needle. So I'm gonna do that, but in the opposite direction. So that's the first time to do the cross stitch, and this is part 1, and later on I'm gonna also post the part 2. So I'm doing the cross stitch. That's the simple line to do. That's the first simple line to do for beginner. And of course, when you're using the paper, you know, your thread can get stuck somewhere. It can happen, but that's the way we do cross stitches. So that's the first line, and later on I'm going to create a second line, but for the second line is going to be when you will gain more confidence to do it. So you will see the difference and also the pattern in the back, because the pattern in the back will be irregular shape, but this first cross line stitches, the pattern in the back is a regular one. Okay, so that's the first line. It's done. There we go. So now I'm gonna turn back my fabric or my paper to show you, and there we go. That's the back. You can see all the lines are vertical parallel, and there we go over there. So now you understand a little bit how to do it. So now I'm gonna create a second line, and the second line is for people who have more experience on it. So for the second line, I will do the cross stitches once, and I don't have to go back and forth. So for this one, as you can see, I'm doing the cross stitch, and I know exactly where I'm supposed to put my needle because I have more experience. I always refer where I'm supposed to put my needle, where the line cross, so I know already. And you know, I just use everything on the surface and it's so nice. So now I'm gonna do the second line, and we're gonna see later on the back how it's gonna look. So guys, this is a new video, so if you have any question, you can, or any message, you can go on my channel on YouTube, Lovely Nail and Beauty. Send me a message, comment, critique are welcome too, and tell me what you think about that project that I made today. And you know, if you have more experience on it, feel free to give me some advice. I will also appreciate. And also I would like to thank my subscriber and everybody who watch my video, even those who does not subscribe. I would like to thank you for the time that you spend watching my video. I really do appreciate, and thank you so much for the message. And now you can see the second line, the pattern is irregular pattern. So that's the two way to realize the cross stitches. So now I'm gonna pick up my fabric and I'm gonna do that again, and you're gonna see how it's gonna look. So this is my fabric, and this is what I'm gonna produce on the part 2 on my fabric. So I'm gonna put that paper on the side and take back my fabric. So that's the fabric that you should use to do the cross stitches. There we go. So as you can see, I'm gonna bring my camera a little bit closer, and you can see that there is so many holes on it. And that's where, first of all, you have to prepare your needle and your thread. It's done already. I prepared that already. So now I'm gonna use my back, the back of my fabric, and I'm gonna try to tie my thread with the fabric. So that's the first thing to do when you start. There we go. So I tied it. Okay, and now I'm gonna use my scissors to cut the extra thread that I see over there. There we go. Okay, and now I can start now doing my cross stitches. Okay, so now I'm gonna put back my needle close to the stitch hole. There we go. And now I'm gonna use my finger as the base support of my fabric. So now I'm gonna do the first line from the cross stitches, the regular one for beginner. So I'm gonna create on the surface oblique parallel line. The parallel oblique line, sorry. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm just repeating everything that I did on the paper, but you can see now how it look on the fabric, and each line cross dot is represented on the fabric with those small holes that you see. So now I'm doing the first line, and that's the most basic line when you want to start doing, to learn how to do it. That's the basic way to do it. Okay, it look nice and neat. I really love it. I really do. So now I'm gonna go on the opposite direction, and when I go to the opposite direction, I have to make sure that the thread should be above my needle. So this is what I'm doing now. So that's the first line that I'm creating, and it's fun. The more you do it, the more you're gonna like it. And when you do the cross stitches, you have to be careful, because you have to count very well, because sometimes one extra cross stitch can mess up your project. You really need to be precise when you count the cross stitches that you're gonna do for your project. Okay, so this is the first line. There we go. It's so cute. So now I'm gonna show you the back. You can see that the back, the line are vertical, parallel. So it's so nice. It's very nice. So now I'm gonna do the second line, and the second line, like I told you, is for those who have more experience. So they just do right away the cross stitches. They don't have to go back and forth on one line. And this one, the back will have a regular pattern, and you're gonna see how it's gonna look. So this is a new video, and I was thinking that it will be nice to share that with you guys, for those who want to learn, men or women who would like to learn how to do it. So that's the second line, and I'm gonna show you the back, how it's gonna look later. And this is the first part of my project. And the second part, we're gonna realize the design. We're gonna realize something. And the first part of that video is when you get the confidence, the experience too, you feel comfortable, then you can jump on the second part of the project. Okay, so I'm almost done, but it's fun to do. It's relaxing too. It's amazing. Okay, it's so nice. So that's very amazing. So you really need to be careful when you do it. Have a good vision. It's very important when you do that. And if you feel tired when you're doing a project, just stop, because the more you get tired, the more you're gonna make mistake, and you're gonna mess up your project or the design that you want to create. So when you're tired, please don't do it. Okay, so now that's the second line. That's the way it's look. It's very nice. And look at the back. The pattern is so different from the first line. It have a regular shape. So that's what I was talking about. So thank you so much, guys, for watching, and see you for the second part of that project. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, to click on the notification bell and on the like button. Thank you for watching.